Boots and all and stones bitter, taking rugby league into a different league. The best rugby league programme ever to hit your screens returns with action from both sides of the world. British Rugby League's in Geordieland, but just why did the authorities take the Charity Shield to the northeast? Also tonight, the chance to see the big league stars as you've never seen them before. But first, the big game of the weekend, the CIS Insurance Charity Shield, Wigan against St Helens. The start of the season is right here, right now.
Connolly from Dummy Hard. That was a good ball up for Portugal. Sullivan. Oh, this fella really doesn't know what taking a backward step means. He'll have to produce something here. Safe position against Sullivan. Anthony Sullivan. Shane Cooper punching the air with delight. Step away from one, step from two. Oh, like a 9-2. Right here, right now. There is no other place. It's no crying.
Yeah, it's great to be back at the start of a new season for Boots and all, and of course, rugby league these days just wouldn't be the same without the lad himself. Mike Stevenson's here, and so players, officials and referees had all better duck for cover. Also tonight, the man who led Great Britain's midweek side on their undefeated tour of Australia's with us. Derek Fox, of course, currently of Featherstone Rovers, but anxious to get back to the big league. And a man who's never far away from the public eye, former Wigan chairman, current Great Britain manager Maurice Lindsay's here too. A man destined for the most powerful job in the game. Welcome, one and all. Maurice, I think we must come to you first of all. Defeat for you in Gateshead yesterday with Wigan. Martin Offiah's now in trouble because he didn't go up and get his medal. Have you recovered yet?
Well, I've had a few aspirins, I must confess, boys, but it was the Charity Shield, and if you're going to be charitable to St Helens, why not do it in the Charity Shield? It's a nice day for them to have a good day.
What about the Martin Offiah business?
That was sad. We've yet to bottom it. We've yet to speak to Martin about it. He went directly down here to London after the game. We will interview him about it at the board meeting tomorrow. It could be sad. I understand he may have had an injury, but we need to determine it. It's very sad because...
But this sort of thing, Maurice, seriously, I mean, the officials have to be a little bit tougher I mean, we got the incident in the Olympics just recently. A weightlifter refused his bronze medal, and they banned him from the game. Now, I'm not saying we don't want to do that with Martin, but we have to be tougher.
I agree with you. You won't find either Wigan or the board of directors at Leeds ducking the issue. If Martin hasn't got a valid excuse, and he's either simply forgotten or he's ducked it, then he's got to face the consequences. At the end of the day, we have sponsors, we have television companies who expect a procedure.
Because this is not the first time that this has occurred, and we can do without this in rugby league.
Yes, it's a negative aspect that has to be sorted out. Players have to be responsible. You know, it's even sadder, Mike, because what we can't ignore is the fact that Martin is basically a very, very nice young man. Let me give you the illustration. On the Friday before the Charity Shield weekend, he drove up to Gateshead, met David Howes there, spent a whole day promoting the Charity Shield, did some coaching for kids in the Gateshead area, all for no cost. Now, that doesn't get headlines. Equally, the guy has come down to London, again working with Rugby League headquarters to promote the World Cup final against Australia, and that doesn't hit the headlines. He's got a terrific attitude to the game and its promotion, but he may well have made a mistake. If he has, then he'll have to face the consequences.
7,000 people were certainly disappointed that Martin didn't go up for his medal, but the Rugby League did head north yesterday, as you've heard, to the Gateshead International Stadium for that annual curtain raiser to the new season, the Charity Shield. But why go to an area where soccer really is king?
This was the other side of the Gateshead day, local amateurs enjoying their opportunity to play in front of a big crowd. The Rugby League are about to appoint a full-time development officer in the Gateshead area, with the final aim a controversial one, a professional team based in Gateshead in 3 years' time, the sport's centenary season.
I think that's realistic. You know, another, say, 3 years of constant building through the development scheme, which gets underway, as I say, with a full-time officer. And it would be very nice, wouldn't it, to establish a professional club in this part of the North East. The sports-loving public here love all sport, and there is a place for rugby league, without any doubt. And here, probably at this splendid stadium, too.
But words of caution come from the Scarborough Pirates, the club that died this summer. Their old chairman, Geoffrey Richmond, was umpiring a local cricket match this weekend, but he won't agree his league side should have been given out.
A little bit of help, and we could have been saved. I had a face-to-face meeting with David Oxley only 5 days before the club went into liquidation, and at the end of that meeting, David and I had shaken hands. The club had been saved on a financial basis because we were going to be given I had asked for, and David had said, subject to the board's approval, that the monies that the club would receive over the next 12 months from Rugby League, from TV, from sponsorship, etc., would be paid as one sum. Unhappily, David, the following day, had to go away on holiday. It was left to Bob Ashby, the chairman, and Bob Ashby rang me the next morning and said, well, he didn't really want to know. And 5 days later we went.
There were local youngsters on show in Gateshead, but how strong is rugby league in the area?
Still struggling at the moment up here. With shortage of players is our main problem. We're doing well. The Gateshead side has done very well. Like the previous season, we moved up to a harder league and survived in that season. There's probably in the whole North East, I think there's only 3 or 4 sides at the moment. There's no reason it shouldn't be a strong rugby league area. I mean, it's the right type of area for rugby league.
But if Gateshead are to make it, Geoffrey Richmond says they need more help than he had.
I think I would, before accepting membership of the Rugby League, get certain commitments from the Rugby League, commitments that they weren't prepared to give us, but which they may give to the next one. Certainly regarding development status. Certainly, I think during the first 6 months, 12 months of the club's life, the Rugby League must put an arm around the shoulders of the new club and not just leave them in the way that they left us.
There's some strong comments there, weren't there, from Geoffrey Richmond, formerly with Scarborough Pirates. It's obviously one for Maurice Lindsay. Maurice, is he right? Did the league desert Scarborough? Did they leave them out in the cold?
No, I think Geoffrey's certainly been very unfair to Bob Ashby, and I think he's not explaining the total picture. The truth of the matter is that when Geoffrey Richmond wanted to bring Scarborough into the league, he came to the council. He was urged by almost half the council not to carry on with the application. People were worried that there just isn't a big enough community or population in the Scarborough area ever to justify the existence of a soccer club and a rugby league club.
But the fact of the matter is, Maurice, that a rugby league club came into existence. 12 months later, it's out of existence. And from a publicity point of view, a public image point of view, for the game, that's disastrous.
It's sad, perhaps, that we allow the enthusiasm of someone as enthusiastic as Geoffrey to continue with the application. We supported Geoffrey because the strength of the man himself. He's a very wealthy man, he's got a track record second to none in business, and we supported him. Unfortunately, he couldn't bring success to bear. I mean, it was, I think it was Christmas of the first year when he resigned his own position as chairman of the board of the rugby club, so that he hadn't given it very long himself. And unfortunately, he took on a very difficult task to develop a rugby league club in an area that was basically perhaps a seaside resort, not the ideal bedrock for planting a route for rugby league, but we supported him, and it hasn't worked. I don't think rugby league should be ashamed of that. And as for the particular issue with Bob Ashby, I think that should be explained. Obviously, I wasn't party to the discussion between David Oxley and Geoffrey. David assures me that he said to Geoffrey he would try and get him some financial help. But there's more than Scarborough needs financial help. I can give you a dozen clubs in the lower region that needs financial help. I think of one or two at the top that need financial help.
Not thinking of Wigan, are you?
Well, maybe you can ask me that later. But the truth is that the sums that come through from the television fees from the sponsors are distributed to the clubs, but over a period. All that cash is not held in rugby league coffers with the ability to spend it overnight. So it needed to be discussed, and I think Bob explained to Geoffrey that we weren't in a position to financially shore up Scarborough, because we'd have to do exactly the same for so many other clubs. So it's sad that Geoffrey's clubs failed, but I think we have to face it in these difficult times. It's just a fact of life, I'm afraid.
Let's bring Derek Fox in, because he's been sitting there nice and quietly. It's about time I think we heard from you. Derek, you're a player. Obviously you want, like everybody else, the game to expand. Where would you see the game perhaps expanding in this country?
I think if we could expand the game more to the southern areas, perhaps not so far down south as London, but if they expand to the Midlands, the Charity Shield is a fantastic game for the public to see. It is a charity game, so if people can see it as that sort of a game and a publicity stunt for the Rugby League, the Australians do it by pushing it to the Western Australia. So if we could do it as and show the people from the outside saying, this is Rugby League and this is what it has to offer, I'm sure that somebody's going to pick up on it one day and say, right, let's expand it just that bit further from the northern regions.
Yeah, not a bad idea. Steve-o, I think that perhaps the Charity Shield should have been at Scarborough 12 months ago, and perhaps then the interest might have been generated to keep the club going a bit longer.
Well, it would have been generated, it would have been a great idea, but getting back to what Maurice was saying, the fact is that all leagues in any sport should have a criteria for bringing in any new club into it. They have it in Australia, and we should have it set down in black and white. If you don't have junior development, if you don't have so many teams, it's a waste of time bringing it in, and we've been embarrassed by it. Both sections have been embarrassed, the game, officials from both the club and Chapeltown Road.
Well, Gateshead will have a new development officer in the weeks and months ahead. Now then, coming up after the break, the new Boots and All service, highlights from all the weekend's big games. Tonight, how the holders of the Yorkshire Cup fell at the first hurdle, and another new feature, who's the Boots and All mystery man? Not Steve-o. Can you identify this current player? It's the first Boots and All of a brand new rugby league season. Steve-o's here, along with two major figures from the summer tour to Australia, Maurice Lindsay and Derek Fox. And if the players need any inspiration at all to perform well this winter, they'll surely take it from the British Lions' efforts down under. Fabulous. We've all got shivers up our backs here looking at that. Marvellous memories of the summer down under in Australia. But Maurice Lindsay, you've come home and you've decided, or at least you're recommending, that perhaps we should tinker with the itinerary a bit and move into Australia via New Zealand rather than Papua.
It's yet to be discussed by everyone, but I think we should spend a fortnight in this country first of all, strengthening and freshening up from a very arduous season here, because traditionally we go the day after the Premiership final. Then I think instead of going to Papua New Guinea and straight to Queensland, we should go to New Zealand and play a test series against them, toughen up and then straight into Australia. I think when you leave the terrific climate and excitement of Australia and go to New Zealand, it's a bit of an anticlimax for the boys. You step off an aeroplane, usually from Brisbane where it's sun and fruit, and you get into Auckland, it's grey and it's raining and it's a bit drizzly, and Derek will tell you you're training in mud, and it's a bit hard for the boys to motivate themselves as well as they would like to. So I'd like to see some thought given to changing it around.
Well, Papua New Guinea, of course, just recently anyway, has been the traditional first port of call into Australia. Derek, we hear all sorts of stories about this place. Now, as a player, what do you think as you go from fairly soft grounds here in spring to, what, bone-hard pitches, is that right?
That's right. The pitches are really hard. I think Dave Fever and David Graham will tell you that they treat more for blisters and cut knees, because everything has to be sterilised thoroughly through blisters, anything. They really have to be intense on the treatment. And it is the climate, plus the fact it builds camaraderie out there as well.
Yeah.
Because there's nothing you can do apart from train and sit around in the hotel, because that's what the part of the tour is. As soon as you arrive there, you're all different players, you come from different clubs, but once you get that camaraderie together, you become a team and you become to know each other, you know each other's bad habits. And then when you leave there and arrive in Australia, you are a unit and you're ready for the challenge ahead.
Is it true that in Papua New Guinea, what I've heard just very briefly, that you don't stray off the main roads, just in case, because it's so dangerous?
That's right. We were told as we were out there, if you ever go out, you must go out in no less a group than 4 or 5, because if you go out as a single person, you would not come back on a night. But,
Bring them back alive.
That's right.
OK, now to the highlights of yesterday's top matches here in this country, starting with the defeat of the holders of the Yorkshire Cup. Bradford Northern got revenge for their defeat in the Yorkshire Cup final last year with a fine display at Castleford. The first try, though, had an element of controversy about it. Bree McKennie in, but did he actually get the ball down properly? Next, the brand of football that gives Cass fans hopes for the future. It was a sweet move. Mike Ford finding Richie Blackmore. Fellow Kiwi Taweri Nikau arrived at just the right time, and his pass produced the opening for Simon Middleton. All square at half-time, 6 points all. Bradford recaptured the lead in the second period. The ball swept out wide to Paul Medley. He cruised in, and David Hobbs added the conversion for a scoreline of 12 points to 6 in Northern's favour. Mike Ford did reduce the arrears with Castleford's second try, but in the 63rd minute, the touchdown that sealed Castleford's fate. Kebby on the end of that raking pass. Northern home and dry.
It wasn't just the Yorkshire Cup on Sunday. Salford in the red and Swinton in the blue were playing for the Swinton Liberal Club Cup. Now there's a big one. It brought the best out of Mark Lee at hooker, though. Good run and the first try of the game for David Fell. Last season, Salford had a bit of a fight against relegation. Swinton were relegated, but Salford have been boosted considerably by the news that Steve Gibson is now counted as English. A strong run from him here. He could be a major player again for them this season. Interesting bit of work coming up in the next try too. If Gibson's a personality there, so too is David Young. The Welsh prop has been revitalised since his move from Leeds. Young's run doing much of the work to set up the try, and a good piece of handling from Salford coming up too. The big move of the summer there has been the swap of Steve Wynn and Jason Critchley from Widnes, and Critchley involved here, setting up a try for David Fell, his second of a hat-trick. Adrian Hadley left in the other part of that move to Widnes, but if Fell keeps in that form, they shouldn't miss him quite too much. David Fell, the try scorer, and David Fell also involved in the build-up to this one, but the real scoring came from David Cruikshank. He's always looked an outstanding player, and one of the plus points of Steve Gibson now being counted as English is that Salford can play with Cruikshank and Coleman as their half-back partnership all season. It's a major boost at the Willows and a major boost with a victory too. Salford 38, Swinton 6.
Big defeat then for Swinton at the start of the season. Huddersfield, by the way, are also through to the first round proper of the Yorkshire Cup. They beat Keighley yesterday quite convincingly. But I rather fancy, Steve-O, that one man who won't be shedding any crocodile tears about going out of the Yorkshire Cup, Darrell van der Velde. He's not really been in love with the competition, even though they've won it so regularly under him.
Well, he may not be a fan, but I'm not so sure that the players will have the same opinion. It's good winning bonuses can come with a Yorkshire Cup run and a Lancashire Cup run. It's OK, he may be happy by it, but I'm sure he would have liked to have gone into the start of the season with a win under his belt.
Yeah, it's not a bad point, is it? But I just wonder, Derek, you know, you're a Yorkshireman through and through. Castleford, many people see as perhaps Yorkshire's best hope, along with Leeds, it must be said. Where do you see the big challenge coming from Yorkshire this time?
It's hard to say. Leeds have done some good buying this summer. They've got Andy Gregory and Gary Mercer from Warrington, so they are going to be strong in the midfield area. So I would have to say Leeds at the moment. Everybody else seems to be struggling with signing because there isn't the cash about available in the game today. So Leeds have they've bought wisely this time, and all good stuff to them. I hope they come through and do the business for Yorkshire.
You really do get the feeling, don't you, that we're on the verge of a new season. It's tremendous, isn't it? All right, you lost yesterday, but you must be looking forward to what's to come, aren't you?
Oh, terrific. I agree with Derek. I think Leeds will be effective this year. But I think Castleford will pip them. It doesn't surprise me that Castleford lost yesterday. I think that both coaches of the two clubs, Castleford and Wigan, are very similar in the way they prepare for a season. And I know that Darrell will have had his boys in the gym doing all the heavy weight work in the same way that John Money's had Bob Lanigan preparing the Wigan boys, and they're actually not ready for running about on our fast summer
That's not
turf.
an excuse for the loss at Gateshead, would it be, Morris?
Well, as you know, Steve-O, we're supposed to be going skint, so we didn't want to pay the winning bonus, did we?
Oh, dear.
No, I honestly do
we'll get
believe
the handkerchiefs
that,
out for you, Morris.
I honestly do believe that Darrell is preparing his boys for a long season, and I think if they went into blitz form yesterday, that they'd pay the penalty along the way. I think he's a very good coach. I know that John Money's a very good coach. I think they've got it right.
Right, one of the features of the summer, the tour apart, of course, has been the number of top clubs who have bought and sold their scrum halves. But what on earth's happened to Derek Fox, the man who led Great Britain's midweek men with such distinction? We shall be finding out next. Scrum halves are in the boots and all spotlight now, and it's certainly been a summer of change for them. Let's just take you through the big names who have swapped clubs. Gus O'Donnell switched from Wigan to St Helens, £80,000 changed hands. Martin Crompton was the man Wigan fancied. Needless to say, he fancied them. The biggest surprise was Andy Gregory's departure from Wigan. Leeds moved in quickly, got their man. It meant no place for Bobby Goulding, so Goulding went back home to Widnes. The merry-go-round continued for Paul Bishop. Out in the cold at Saints, he went to Halifax. And Greg Mackey has returned for a second spell at Warrington after his 2 years with Hull. And so the $64,000 question now is, what on earth's happened to Derek Fox, known to be unhappy at Featherstone? He's with us tonight, so let's ask him. Derek, where on earth are you standing at the moment?
At the moment, Eddie, it's all in limbo because after last week, the speculation was that I was going to Leeds. Unfortunately, Leeds, the offer was turned down, so they moved straight in for Andy Gregory. So I had turned down Halifax, and I could have been at Halifax a month back. Oh. But unfortunately, they spoke to me and said that the first offer had been turned down, so they pulled out of the deal. Dougie Lawton spoke to me again and says, will you like to come to Leeds? I said, yes, I'd love to come to Leeds. He says, hold out for, we're definitely going to buy you. But Featherstone held out for just that bit too much money, I think, because looking at the script there, all the players now are going for £100,000, and most of them are good scrum halves. I think Featherstone's just holding out for the 100,000 plus players.
Well, I think you've missed a boat, both of you, both yourself and the club, because when you look through that list, all the transfer system has gone. There's only, what, let's say Hull and Bradford that could really look at affording £160,000, and I don't think they can find that sort of money unless they get a knight coming on a white horse full of pound notes coming out of his pockets. I mean, they really need a benefactor to come into it. So, I mean, does this mean that you could be out of the English system? Would you go to Australia?
Yes, I did actually get an offer from an Australian club side at the back end of the tour saying would I like to come out during our off season. But the fact is, I would like to play and be there at the start of this season. Australia is an option for next year, but if it means having to stop out and going to Australia at Christmas time, I would possibly do that.
Derek, is it definitely decided? Are you not going to play for Featherstone Rovers? Have you decided that in your own mind? Are you staying away?
I have, yes. I spoke to the committee a couple of days after I came back from Australia, and I said it would be very hard to motivate myself playing against Winfield Cup side to play in the second division. I've no disrespect to any player that plays in the second division, but if you want to progress in this game today, with Sky taking over the rights to Rugby League, you've got to be playing first division football, and that is the main aim. I want to be playing first division football in the big league and earn honours. That's my main aim now. I've played for Featherstone Rovers for 9 years. I've won nothing. People say, is it financially? It isn't the financial side of it. It's that I want to earn honours and turn around at the end of the day and say, that's what I did in Rugby League. At the end of the day, financially, that'll come later.
Peter Fox is the Bradford Northern coach. If he's watching tonight, what's the message to him?
Come and get me.
Well, the season is just beginning here in the UK. Perhaps not for Derek Fox, but there we are. But down under, it's boiling up to a climax with 9 sides still in with a chance of making the playoffs.
The Brisbane Broncos have looked great all season. They've won their previous 4 games before playing Manly, and again in this match they showed their ability to attack from their own 25. Manly desperately needing a win to stay in touch with the top 5 and go for the playoffs, but it was Brisbane who led at half-time. From them, a typical piece of opportunism from the great backline.
Renouf outside the corner, still going, brushes away from Arrow, Hancock's away, oh boy, what a try! Hancock scores for the Broncos. Renouf, a tremendous run.
But though Brisbane led at half-time, this wasn't to be the walkover they've seen so often this season. Manly hitting back just into the second half from the mule, David Hosking.
David Hosking, good yards. Desi Hasler, he's inside the 22. He's got 2 to beat. Picks up the winger Hancock. Hancock scores. Oh, super try laid on by David Hosking.
I'll take a bow, Hosco. That's as good as a piece of front row forward players you ever want to see.
Brisbane clinched the win though, 2 tries in the final 10 minutes from the Broncos.
Now there's space out here for the Brisbane side. If they want to use it, inside ball.
Lee has gone through. Forward pass was it? But away goes the centre, Chris Johns. And Johns goes all the way. Johns gets the try for Brisbane. Graham Lowe making his way down to the dressing rooms. Kevin Arrow puts it down. Scrum will go down 10 metres away from the Manly line.
He had a look there, Kevin Iro. Defence coming up reasonably quickly. Steve Renouf put some pressure on. He's taken his eye off the ball. In fact, it was the number 4, Chris Johns, coming up. Renouf was the man trying to tow it through after the ball had gone to ground.
By the same token, Paul Vorton, I think Manly has shown enough tonight to show cause why Brisbane would want them out of the 5.
No doubt about that as Langer throws the ball here, looking for a kick, looking for Hancock out in the wing and finds him.
That's a try. That's a try for Michael Hancock. Daryl Williams wants to dispute it.
Illawarra and Penrith was another battle for top 5 places, but Illawarra looked by far the better side and virtually clinched the game in the first half.
Neil. Play almost on the halfway mark as they use the blind. Russell to McGregor, away to Wishart. Wishart to the quarter-way line. Michael Neal miraculously takes the pass, and Rodwell goes in to score. Beautiful piece of play. Izza. Metten pulled down by Clark and Dunn. Waddell. Goes the cheer from the crowd now for the Steelers. The smell of another try coming around as Neal makes the overlap. Riolo goes for the corner and for mine gets it down. Oh, that's a lovely try.
Well, Ray Warren thought it was a try straight away, but the action replay shows it was pretty close. Decision, remember, if the ball touches the line, then it's a try. And this game really sent the Steelers' way by this one moment of refereeing decision.
Wishart from the touchline. In flight, looking good. Touch judges, don't move. Oh, it's a booming kick. Great kick by Wishart. 12-0 to the Steelers. Neil, cross. Penalty to Illawarra. Right in front of the uprights.
Well, McNamara's the man that's being pointed to, or it may be the 11, Barry Walker. They both toiled hard, the 13-11 for Penrith, and this is a cruel blow. The penalty in front, put Illawarra 14 clear.
The captain leaves the field. Wishart. 11 out. Puts it in the air. And Illawarra lead by 16-2.
So this is the position with 2 games to go, and remember 5 sides qualify for the playoffs. Brisbane the minor premiers, and the crucial match this week is Manly against Illawarra. Remember, you can see that game and the pick of the rest of the Aussie action in our regular roundup, 9:30 on Wednesday evening. Now then, talking about Australia, Andy Platt, Wigan's prop forward's been rumoured to be heading down under ever since the tour. Maurice Lindsay, what is the latest situation with Andy now?
Well, I'm delighted to be able to tell you, Eddie, that Andy signed a new 2-year contract with Wigan today. Just before I got on the aeroplane to come down, he met myself and Jack Robinson. We talked it through for about the 20th time, and Andy actually signed a 2-year contract, and I couldn't be a happier man. In my opinion, he's the greatest prop in the world. He lives in the town. I'm thrilled to bits.
Mike, we said yesterday, didn't we, that the Saints' defeat, if Wigan want any inspiration, there it was.
They missed him.
And they must break the bank to get him.
My word, they missed him. And evidently they were giving a lot of money out at Parramatta. They wanted him badly. Dennis Fitzgerald was very keen to get hold of him. But that leaves you a big space at Wigan now, Maurice.
Overseas-wise.
Well...
Come on, you've given us one exclusive, give us the next one now.
Well, we always do what you tell us. I mean, you two decided yesterday that we had to sign Andy Platt, so we went out and did it, so you better tell us what to do now.
I tell you one player who won't be coming, Maurice, and that's Mark Geyer, because I've just heard just half an hour ago that he's been involved in a car accident and he's got an injured knee which needs operation. So I'm afraid the stint in England, and I'm sure a few of the Leeds fans will be
disappointed
quite disappointed over that.
Yes, indeed, that's sad for Leeds. We were thinking about him for the centres.
So you've lost out on Mark. Who are you going for?
We need a centre to replace Gene Miles. We have been talking to friends in Australia and New Zealand and Papua New Guinea and Russia. We'll have an overseas player coming in to fill Gene Miles' spot. Obviously, it would be proper to reveal who the player's name would be, but he's a quality player, and I think I think the Wigan public will be pleased when he arrives.
Can I throw a name at you? Mark
As many as you like. Mark McGaw. Oh, was he Mr. Magoo? Was that him?
We're getting nothing from him. OK, we'll leave you to it, Maurice. Coming up after the break, we reveal the identity of our mystery man. Here now your final clue, his name in a few moments. A new feature on Boots and All this season will be our mystery player. Here now the identity of the man who's been popping up throughout the first programme.
From Shaun Edwards, and he even comes up with the ball as that Wigan youngster. Confidence there of an 18-year-old. Many consider that in future he'll be a half-back, but what a fine game he's having as a full-back.
Well, 8 years on, he is a half-back, of course, for both club and country. At 25, Shaun Edwards has just played in his own testimonial match between Wigan and Great Britain, and Wigan won by a point. Inevitably, Shaun Edwards scored a try and, as he always does, enjoyed every moment of it. Shaun Edwards, the Boots and All mystery man this week. Best of luck to him for the rest of his benefit year. Well, while Edwards has been busy with that and the tour, other players have been involved in even more bizarre activities. The Rugby League now boasts its very own charity cricket team.
It was hardly Lords, but the re-emergence of a Rugby League Stars cricket team at the picturesque Cheshire village of Port Shrigley showed that some of our Blood and Thunder boys can match it with the best when it comes to putting bat to ball. Thanks to the hard work of this man, Salford's league doctor Brian Miller, league players now have the chance to hone their competitive edge in the off-season. With the select Cheshire side being contained to just 203, partly through the fielding ability of Steve Gibson, the league boys appear to have a sniff of victory and a future.
We want to extend it even further and really put some kind of constitution on a footing in order that we can spread our wings a little and look towards doing some work for charity next year.
For Steve Kerry, once a record point scorer for Salford, finding a full length proved as difficult as finding a new club.
I've still got another season left with Salford, but Kevin Tamati and Terry Cassidy have made it quite clear that they're not going to play me in the first team, and I think I'm a bit too young yet to retire out to grass in the A team. Like I say, a few clubs, Oldham especially, is the club I wanted to go to, but as yet the player swap deal situation hasn't materialised yet, so I'm still hoping though. A couple of weeks to go. Hopefully it's a bit late, but hopefully something will come up.
Well, let's hope that we don't have to force you into cricket as a full-time profession.
No, I've been seeing the way I've bowled out there today. I don't think that's the opportunity or the right move anyway, so we'll see how we go on.
Whilst the point-scoring machine hardly looked likely to threaten Ian Botham, it was obvious the likes of Jonathan Griffiths and Alan Hunt had played before.
Yeah, well, from being about 10 years old, I started playing rugby and cricket. One in the winter, one in the summer. Got up to Yorkshire schoolboy level as a wicket keeper. So it tailed off really when I signed professional. But I still like to keep in touch in the game every so often.
Welsh star Jonathan Griffiths not only looked the part in the field, he displayed plenty of class when he padded up, scoring a handy 77 in an opening partnership with Hunt of over 100. Despite a collapse in the middle order, the league boys overcame some dubious umpiring decisions to sneak a victory with 1 over remaining.
The John Arlott of Rugby League, eh?
My word.
Hey. I didn't see you in the whites, though. You didn't fancy having a bash? I can't believe you didn't get involved.
Well, they couldn't find a box to fit.
Enough said. Derek, apart from all the touring, do you get up to anything in the summer? Anything you do? Do you know at all?
Helping me find the box, that's what it does.
Oh, dear me. Morris, I can see you in the slips. I think.
Oh, absolutely. Ian Botham, number 2.
Well, you could hardly put him as a wicket keeper. In fact, Botham you couldn't. You wouldn't even be able to see all the stumps.
We could wear one glove each. You could have the left side, I could have the right
side. Double up.
Cricket, eh? Well, I wonder if it will catch on as far as Rugby League is concerned. Morris, you're champing at the bit. You want to put the record straight about Wigan being short of cash. And
you wrote a nasty article, Mr. Hemmings. I was glued to it yesterday.
Hiss.
Oh,
Boo.
Mr. Hemmings. the poison pen.
I only tell the truth.
I know. No, it's ridiculous to say that Wigan were financially creaking. They built a new £2 million stand, bought Martin Offia for £440,000.
That's why you're financially creaking?
Well, I think somebody's got to sign the cheques. And you're supposed to have money in the bank when you sign cheques, you know, Eddie. You'll find out one day. But in all honesty, Wigan have just tried to do some sensible negotiations. It didn't mean to say that we weren't going to come through with the goods, and I think signing Andy Platt has probably shut everybody up today. But I think you two have got a cheek anyway. He writes an article saying that Wigan have got no money left, and as soon as he arrives, Steve says, I've got to pay for dinner tonight when we go out from here.
Absolutely.
Sounds pretty reasonable to me.
Well, I know
another carve-up.
I know something. No. There'll be one round this table who won't be paying.
And I must say I'm very proud to admit it.
Actually, you did get a drink out of him, didn't you, in New Zealand?
That's right, I fetched it along tonight.
I think we should. I think we should stop it right now.
All right, we'll leave you alone for this week. There's still plenty. There's about 30-odd more Boots and Alls to come. Well, it's a big week for the game coming up. The kick-off, of course, to a new season always sets the old pulse racing. But this year, for the first time, courtesy of Sky Sports, the season gets underway on Friday night as the second division champions Sheffield Eagles face mighty Wigan in the first of our Friday night big league programmes. The other highlight is Leeds against St Helens. You'll be able to see that match here on Sky as well, Sunday night at 9. Now, another new feature on Boots and All this season will be your chance to beat the brain. The brain, though, belongs to Steve-O, so it shouldn't present too much of a problem. Steve-O's got to predict the results of all these games. That's the first division fixtures this week. If you can beat him, you stand the chance to win an autographed Great Britain shirt. OK, Steve-O, it's all yours. Who are you tipping?
Well, I'm going mad this week. I'm going to go for 6 away wins, no less. Wigan, Bradford, St Helens, Warrington, Salford, the only home team to win, Halifax and Castleford. Bit of Yorkshire bias there.
I think there is. And 6 aways? You cannot be serious, as someone once said.
I am always serious. I see it and call it that way, and that's what I see it.
6 aways. All right, well, if you think it'll be 6 homes, there's the prize. It's the Great Britain jersey, of course, from the Australian tour, and on the back, if you can see it, autographs. Autographs of every player. There they are. Every player who went on tour. It can be yours. I think we ought to give you the address to tell you where to send your entries. You must have them in, don't forget, by... Well, it's got to be first post on Friday, OK? First post Friday. Let's have a look now at the address. Here it is. Sky Sports. Put Beat Steve-O on the envelope or on your card. Sky Sports, P.O. Box 6, Isleworth, Middlesex, TW7 5QQ. 6 aways, gentlemen. Has he got a chance? I think the shirt will be going, won't it?
He's no idea. He's tipped Wigan, I suppose he's got some idea. But no, I think Widnes will beat Castleford. I think Phil Larder will start off with a big win.
Oh, well, there you are. That's 1 down then, right away. They do say, Derek, he couldn't tip rubbish.
That's right, and he's well known in Dewsbury for not being very handy. So.
Actually, there's a few people out there who I'm sure would love to beat Steve-O in a different manner, I can tell you.
There's about 4,000 Wiganers underneath our commentary position yesterday. And John Money wasn't impressed either, I'm told, with what we were saying about...
Oh, no, you've upset John.
All I can say is we've got off to a great start.
We sure have. So it's just about the end of another show. Indeed, the very first show. Hope you've enjoyed the first Boots and All of the season, and you'll make a date to join us at 10 o'clock every Monday night from here on in. Special thanks, of course, must go to Maurice Lindsay and to Derek Fox for journeying down to be with us tonight. Been a great start for us, gentlemen. Thank you very much for coming down. Derek, hope you get settled and fixed up with the club very soon. Peter Fox, if you're listening and watching, the man wants to join you. Maurice, best of luck for the season.
Thanks, Eddie.
You're the people that everybody has got to beat.
It's nice to be there.
You expect it hard, and it's going to be there hard, I'll tell you, for the rest of the season. Steve-O and I will be back next Monday, along with Gary Schofield. We'll leave you with a look at what great treats we've got coming up for you this week. Aye. What's with the glasses, then?
You said I needed them.
No, I didn't say you needed them. Some of the supporters merely suggested that perhaps...
Either way, I've got them for Friday night for the big blast-off of Big League. It'll be exciting stuff.
You can say that again.
What? Exciting stuff?
No, fiery, fast, frenetic, fabulous, flowing football.
You forgot Friday.
Friday.
You forgot 7 o'clock.
Oh, 7.
Is that really you, Eddie?
Boots and All and Stones Bitter.